I'm Jessica Valant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Hi, welcome back to Meet Your Body and one of our shorter connections episodes today. So if you're unfamiliar with connections, it's a time that we just chat. It's like we were on a walk together or having a coffee or all in a room together and just talking through some thoughts, some ideas, supporting each other. And my thoughts today revolve around owning our choices. And let me tell you where this came from and why we're talking about it. So this started last week. I was just doing a, trade-off situation with my daughter and her friends. Another mom had driven them and I was picking them up. So the other mom and I were just chatting for a few minutes in a parking lot, and we were friends. So we kind of know each other and we have, mutual friends. And she was saying how she had seen some of our other friends at a workout class that they had gone to. And it's at a gym, a place that I've heard about a lot. I've always thought, it would be really cool to take a class there. I haven't been able to. And she said something about, I got up early and went to a 6 a.m. class, with them, and then went on with her story. I realized later when I was thinking about that one of my first reactions to hearing that, like a split-second reaction, and I'm not proud of this. This is why I'm talking about this today. Split-second reaction was, must be nice, which, by the way, I know we've all done it, but extremely rude in my head to say that. But it was that thought of, must be nice to be able to get up early, go to that class, must be nice to go, see some friends and talk about it at a fitness class that you're there for an hour by yourself. It really hit me because I've had these thoughts before and I've done a lot of work and understanding around them. And so I figured I wasn't alone in that it's my choice to not wake up at 5 a.m. and go to that 6 a.m. class. Like, I could make that choice if I wanted to. I could move things around in my life to make that choice. I choose not to. That's on me. That's on me owning my choices. So that's what I want to talk about today, because I think sometimes that actually can hold us back in a lot of ways. And I want to emphasize that this is very much about times that we do have a choice or we can make changes. This today is not talking about the times in life when we can't make a choice or a change. And I very much validate that those times occur as well. When there is a diagnosis, when there are health issues, when there are accessibility issues, socioeconomic factors, when we're taking care of other people, when our time really is taken up by things that we can't change. So I'm putting a big validation on that and saying that this isn't about those times. There will be seasons of life where we can't make a change, where we do need to have some acceptance of this is a season of life right now, or this is my situation. And I do believe you have some control of choice within that as well. But no, it may not be the same as someone else's. So I want to validate that. Today isn't about that necessarily. This is about when we do have a choice. So I'm going to say some examples that this has come up for me in my life. And when it really, really hit me the hardest, when I first had a realization of, this is me owning my choice. So we had moved to Hawaii, my husband and I, in the mid-2000s. We did not have kids yet. And we brought our dogs and a couple suitcases, and we just said, we want to try this. Like, it really was, we both felt like we were beach people at heart who happened to be born in landlocked states. We hadn't traveled abroad or studied abroad in college like some people did. It was kind of our chance in our late 20s to have this experience. And so we made it happen. We moved to Hawaii. We only knew a couple people, and we really built an amazing, amazing life there and thought we would live there forever. And now we have the benefit of getting to go back and forth quite a bit and spend a lot of time there. But we're based in Colorado now with our kids. But we had moved to Hawaii, and my husband had a job that he could do at home. So he had very intentionally created a life and chosen a job. When we moved to Hawaii, his work changed a little bit, but he purposely chose something that was extremely flexible with hours that he could do from home. Like, that was an intentional choice by him. And again, we did not have kids yet. We weren't supporting anyone else other than ourselves financially. I, on the other hand, was a physical therapist, Pilates instructor. I got to Hawaii. I did work a couple different jobs that I had more flexible hours, and then I chose to open my own studios. Started with one, and we proceeded to grow. And so there was a time, probably like 8 to 12 months after we had gotten there. And I remember kind of these few days that these feelings were building in me. Feelings of resentment, where I would be at work, like in hour 5 of an 8-hour day of teaching clients all day, teaching full Pilates classes. Like, inside, we had a studio without windows, and we had, again, only lived in Hawaii like less than a year. And I was thinking, I can't be outside. Like, I can't go to the beach. I am stuck in this office. I'm stuck inside working, while he was at the beach learning to kite surf. He was on his bike. When I'd ask him, we would talk maybe on a lunch break, and he would tell me what he was doing versus I was at work for another 5 hours. I remember getting extremely resentful about that. And then I had to take a moment. Okay, I had to take a beat and say, this is what I chose. No one is asking me to do this. No one has asked me to do this. I'm not financially responsible for anyone else, so I definitely did not feel like I had to, do this to pay the bills. My husband was making his money. I was making my money. We were sharing it and living under one roof, but like I didn't have to be doing what I was doing for money. I wasn't locked into any kind of contract, anything like that. Like, I chose this. I chose to sign this lease. I chose to do this. I choose every day to come here because I love what I do. My husband chose what he did because his number one priority was a flexible schedule that he could set his own hours and be outside as much as possible. I chose mine because of my absolute passion for what I do for work. And I really had to I remember very intentionally coming to that realization and telling myself, I can change this if I want. I can shut this down. Like, if it's more important to me to set my own hours and be outside right now, as opposed to teaching this class, I can do that. And guess what? You probably know the answer. I didn't want to do that. I wanted what I had. Like, I had made that choice for a reason. I felt extremely grateful. I wanted to do that. What I was feeling was just some resentment around my own limitations and my own boundaries that had nothing to do with him. And I had to continually remind myself of that to make sure that I did not put any resentment on him, because it was not about him. It was about me. So that was kind of the first realization I had around that. And it really did, it has popped up at various times throughout my life since then. Another time that it has come up is after we had kids. So I would say in the past, 5-6 years, when I have seen some colleagues doing some amazing things and their careers growing and they have opportunities to travel. I mean, they're traveling the world and they're teaching and doing workshops and doing various things. And then not only that, but seeing people who I really admire in other spaces who are doing masterminds and just a lot of really cool, amazing things. And again, a little resentment creeps in, right? A little, not only resentment, but also deeper than that, probably some issues with myself, right? Like feeling like I'm not doing good enough. I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being enough. I need to do that. How do I do that? How do I be more? How do I give more? How do I act more? All those things. How do I produce more? And then the realization, like taking a moment. Okay, yeah, if I want that, how do I get it? Like, what are the steps? What are they doing? What steps are they taking? And then having a real honest moment about what it would take for me to try to achieve that right now in this phase of life. And do you know what it would take? It would take me needing childcare or something after school, putting our kids in after school programs so I could work past 2:15. It would take me being willing to travel and be away for more than 2 nights at a time. And in this phase of life, I am not willing to do that. So it's the same idea. This is not about any limitations anyone else has put on me. It's not about even anyone else being better than me. It's not about any of that or me not being enough. It is about the priorities I have made in my life and the choices that I make right now to choose to be the one to pick up my kids from school. Like, that's what I want. That is absolutely my number one priority, that I am there to pick up and drop off kids from school. Between my husband and I, we share that duty between the 2 kids and driving all over. But I want to be there for that. I want to be there in the car to hear how their day was after school. I want to know their friends. I do not travel well more than 2 nights away from the kids. And I have to be honest about that. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's not a limitation, but it is a reality that if I wanted those things right now in my career, I would need to take some time away from the other things I'm choosing to do. That is just a reality, and that is okay. And my choice that I own wholeheartedly is to be very much home, the one driving the kids, the one with the kids, putting them to bed at night. Like, that just is. And I'm not going to try to either reason my way out of it or anything. I just know in my heart that is my choice. And so having those realizations has really served me personally and helped me, because going back to that original thought, like, oh, must be nice, I hear that a lot just from women in general. Like, we get that and we say it. And I think that kind of holds us back because we think that choices are being made for us, or choices are being put on us, or decisions are being put on us, and that other people have so much more than we do. And again, I am very much saying that sometimes, yes, sometimes that's the case. Sometimes there's a diagnosis you didn't ask for. Sometimes you are being asked to take care of someone else. You didn't ask for that. There's very much issues with accessibility and financial factors. All of that is included. But if you just look at what you can control, like the choices you can make, I am encouraging you to own them. Own those choices. And for me, going back to that original conversation, I own the choice that I do not want to get up at 5 a.m. and go work out. I absolutely don't. So yeah, do I miss out on my friendships of the friends who might be going there and the conversations they're having? Yes. Is it more important to me to get sleep? Yes, it is. That's the choice I'm going to own, because I can do my workout later in the day. And that works out great for me. So I'm going to own that choice, right? I own the choice that I'm putting my time, as soon as 2:15 hits, I need to be done with work because I choose to put my time towards my kids. And all those things might change later on. But right now, by owning that choice, it helps me release resentment, which just tends to hold us back. The idea of resentment or feeling like we're not enough or feeling like we're not doing enough, by owning your choice, knowing your choice, right? Knowing your priorities. It's important to understand those. So know your priorities. Be willing to make the choices you need for those priorities and understand they might change in different seasons of life. But by owning them, you can let go of some of those resentments of other people, which I just think opens us up to better relationships, to better understanding ourselves, and to feeling more empowered in our bodies so that we can move forward in other choices we want to make. So those are my thoughts. That's my tangent for the week. I hope it might help you just open your thoughts a little bit. Maybe we can all move forward in owning our choices a little more, which ultimately will help us be closer to each other and more free and empowered in our own bodies. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavalant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Valant and Instagram at Jessica S. Valant.